You are about to listen to the Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo podcast. What's up, you guys? Man, time is just flying by. I feel like I just did episode 12 yesterday, and here I am on episode 13. It's been another eventful week, and I love doing my podcast. So I'm really excited to be doing another episode. I'm a little sick right now, but it's all good. I hope you guys are all well and ready for some world news. So let's dive into the first segment and see what's been going on this week. So, on Monday, September 12th, Donald Trump had a rally out in North Carolina where something went down. Protesters, of course, were present, and at some point, two of them were escorted out. Someone in the audience actually hit both protesters as they were being taken out. It looks like this person hit both of them in the head. This is definitely not the first time that violence has been present at one of his rallies. It's not the first time that someone has been hit in the head. It's also not the first time someone has been escorted out. So it just seems like something bad is always happening at one of his events. It's sad because peace is never present. And if peace cannot even exist at one of these rallies, then what will the country turn into if he becomes president? I just don't know, but I do know I want peace. While South Korea was just hit with not just one, but two earthquakes, which also took place on Monday. One had a magnitude of 5.1, and the other had a magnitude of 5.8. And it looks like the earthquake with the magnitude of 5.8 was actually the biggest one that they have ever gotten out in South Korea. So they definitely gave people quite the scare. But fortunately, there were no serious injuries because injuries were reported, but they were very minor ones. So no huge damage or anything. Damage that was reported was also very minor, so that's a good thing. So everything was minor, nothing big to really worry about. And on Tuesday, September 13th, something absolutely terrible happened to some crew members during a safety drill that was being conducted on the Harmony of the Seas cruise ship. This cruise ship actually happens to be the largest cruise ship in the world, and it's docked out in southern France, which is where this accident happened. It appears that five crew members were on a lifeboat just taking part in a safety drill when all of a sudden the lifeboat just unhooked from the ship and fell. So one person was killed, and the other four were pretty injured. Everyone was given the proper medical attention needed, and this was just something that went horribly wrong. And on the same day that this happened, there was an awful car accident out in northern Mexico. A van apparently crashed into a tow truck, which led to this really bad collision. 11 people were killed and 8 people were injured. From what was being reported, it looks like all of the 11 people that were killed were actually riding in the same car, which was the van. Some died later in the hospital after getting treated. The driver of the tow truck was injured, and the others injured were from other vehicles that were also part of the crash. So definitely a really bad traffic accident there. And somewhat of a funny thing happened out in Spain this week. Kind of funny, not really. But a train driver left a little over 100 passengers stranded out in Spain after he noticed that his shift had ended. So I guess there is a law out there which makes it clear that a train driver cannot operate the train for more than 6 hours straight. It just cannot happen, which isn't a bad thing, and it's actually good that they have this law because it's used in order to make sure that these train drivers are always okay and well to drive the train and get people to their destination safe. So this train driver saw that that his time was up and was like, "Good luck getting to your destinations." I guess he had pulled into a station where someone else was supposed to take over, but that person never showed up, so he just left everyone there. Um, so he didn't necessarily just leave because he was ready to head home, but it was more because he really couldn't drive the train anymore because he had to follow the law. So everyone left stranded was taken care of and given another form of transportation in order to make it to their destinations. And then on Wednesday, September 14th, there was a really bad accident out in the southeastern region of Australia. A train actually hit a car and pretty much just took it. It was really bad. There were two people in the car, both women and in their 70s, and they were both killed in the accident. It happened in the afternoon, and from what was being reported, it 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 looks like the driver just tried to cross the tracks on time, to avoid something like this from happening. But unfortunately, the train did hit the car and took it. It was really, really bad, as you can only imagine. All right, and I have one more for you guys before I end this segment and take a short break. On Thursday, September 15th, there was an explosion on a speedboat which killed two people and left about 20 others injured. The boat had around 40 people on board and it was taking them from the Indonesian island Bali to another Indonesian island. So everyone was removed from the boat and those that needed medical attention received it and got treated. Everything is still being investigated to see what caused the explosion. A lot of the passengers were from different countries like Spain, France, Italy, and a few others. So a lot of them were just visiting on vacation, and it's unfortunate that they had to experience this. It's definitely one of the last things I'm sure they would have expected to go through while being there. Okay, so that's all I have for this segment. We are going to take a short break. Don't go away because I have more news right after this. Hey everyone, just want to remind you guys that you guys are listening to Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo. I hope you guys are enjoying my podcast so far. Exclusively Here with Diego Santoyo is made available to everyone by 12 a.m. or 6 a.m. every Friday, and you can find my podcast on my website, which is diegosantoyo.com. My podcast is also available on iTunes and on my YouTube channel. Thank you for listening. Okay, and we're back. Let's get into some pop culture now. So much going on there. Going to start it off with SNL. For all you SNL lovers, the 42nd season is set to premiere very, very soon. It will start this October on the 1st, so in about another 2 more weeks, it will begin. I'm pretty excited about it, and this week it was announced that there would be 3 new cast members added on. So it looks like the 3 new cast members will be Melissa Villaseñor, Mikey Day, and Alex Moffat. So Mikey Day was already part of SNL, but as a writer, and adding on Melissa makes her the first Latina cast member to be part of the show, so that's pretty cool. Well, I'm sure this is going to be a great experience for them, and what an awesome opportunity. So it seems like Emma Roberts and Evan Peters are back on. They have recently been seen together, enjoying each other's company, and there have been a few reports out there this week that were confirming that the two are together again. They have been on and off a few times. They started dating back in 2012. At some point in 2013, they were engaged, but it was called off in 2015. So after it was called off, it looks like in that same year, they managed to fix things, but then broke up again this year sometime in May. So then eventually, sometime in June, Emma started dating Christopher Hines, and now that's done, and it's looking like she's back with Evan. So hope you guys were able to keep up there. So I guess the heart wants what the heart wants. They just keep going back to each other, so there must be something special there. And on to some more couple news. Josh and Heather Altman from Bravo's Million Dollar Listing Los Angeles are soon to be parents. Yes, Heather is pregnant, and they will be having a girl. The news was announced on Tuesday, September 13th. And Josh and Heather, that everyone know the great news through their social media accounts. So, from what was posted, you can tell that they are very excited and looking forward to this next journey as parents. Both got married this year back in April in Aspen, Colorado, and here they are about 5 months later, expecting their first child. So they must have definitely been ready to start a family and get it going. Well, this Wednesday, September 14th, Bella Hadid experienced something that I believe all models can only hope won't happen to them. She fell when she was walking down the runway during the Michael Kors fashion show, which was out in New York City. So I guess walking down the runway isn't as easy as one would think. She did manage to get back up and keep going. She was actually smiling as she got herself back up. Doesn't seem like she was hurt or anything, which is good. But the fall was definitely captured, and it's out there because cameras were everywhere. I mean, people just happened to capture something that they didn't know was going to happen. So, yeah. Well, she's not the first one to fall, and she is definitely not going to be the last. And I'm sure some models out there are wondering if they are next. I guess at some point you have to fall, right? I think falling may come with the gig. So Rob Schneider just welcomed baby number two with his wife Patricia. They now have another beautiful little girl who was born on Wednesday, very early in the morning, around 5:56. Her name is Madeline Robbie Schneider. She is doing great, as Rob let everyone know through his tweet. So this family is now growing. They both had their first child together back in 2012. As for Rob, he now has three daughters. He was previously married before and had a daughter back in 1989 with his ex-wife. So Rob and Patricia Schneider uh, both got married in 2011, and since then they have had these two great blessings come their way. Who knows if this is it or if they plan on having more babies and growing the family even more. But what I do know is that they are just thrilled about their baby girl. Well, for those of you who loved Amy Winehouse, I'm sure you guys are aware that this year marked the fifth anniversary of her death. It's crazy to think that it's been 5 years already. She passed away back in 2011 from alcohol poisoning, and at the time, she was just 27 years old. And this week on Wednesday, she would have turned 33. Adele actually tweeted out a picture of Amy just saying happy birthday, and she did the same thing on Instagram. So, she really liked her. So it's crazy how time just passes on by. All right, so last one here before I go. If you are looking for something good to read, you might want to check out Naya Rivera's new book. Sorry Not Sorry: Dreams, Mistakes, and Growing Up came out this week, and a lot of people are talking about it because she opens up about a lot of really interesting things. She really didn't hold back and talked about a lot of stuff that people would want to know about. She opens up about her personal life and talks about her abortion. She talks about Leah Michelle and the relationship that they have had. She also talks about the relationship she had with Big Sean, and how one day she went to his house and found Miss Ariana Grande there with him. So she shares some of her struggles in life that she's overcome, like her eating disorder, talks about her boob job, and I mean, just all kinds of things that everyone would want to know about. I haven't read the book, but she's done a few interviews talking about it, and from what's being reported, she's just so honest and just tells everyone everything. She really didn't hold back and let the truth come out. So it sounds like a really interesting book. So you might want to get this book and read it. And I leave you guys with that. Thank you so much for tuning into my podcast. I really appreciate it. Remember to catch a new episode next Friday. Get some of the latest news exclusively here with me, your host, Diego Santoyo. Have a good one, you guys.